One part of the camp even featuring a Simon Says that resulted in a lucky winner receiving a diamond chain.
We got a diamond chain prize right here.
Shout out to Cameron Justice. Great. That's what a regular news report should sound like, right, Darren?
Rex Ryan came at Shedeur Sanders on national TV last year and made a whole post-game moment about him. Nobody in the media asked the Browns to defend him. Nobody pushed back. Fast forward to this offseason, and Shedeur just wrapped a camp day that hit every mark you could ask for. 500 kids, a straight-down-the-middle news report, a random kid walking away with a diamond chain. No drama, no excuses, just work. And it's making that old Rex Ryan line look worse by the week. Let's get into why. Start with the actual day. Shedeur was in Miami on a Saturday, working out with some of his Browns teammates. One day later, he's back in Northeast Ohio running a youth football camp for more than 500 kids at Brooklyn Memorial Stadium. That's not a rest day. That's a straight turnaround from a training session to giving back to the community, and he did it in partnership with Browns Give Back. The camp had all the stuff you'd expect: skills and drills on the field, hundreds of kids in gear, music playing, merch everywhere. But the detail that stuck was the diamond chain. During a round of Simon Says, one lucky kid ended up walking away with a real diamond chain as the prize. Shedeur said it himself. It was just a little thing he thought would be cool, something to make a memory out of. He talked about loving competition, even in something as simple as a camp game. What made the day stand out wasn't just the event, it was how it got covered. Cameron Justice from News 5 put together a report that just laid out the facts. He came straight from the airport. He's doing this in collaboration with the Browns. Here's the turnout. Here's the reaction from the kids. No slant, no angle, just the story. And on a show that spends most of its time breaking down media bias, that got noticed immediately. Because here's the thing people forget. Shedeur stood up at his first off-season press conference and asked for exactly this. He told the room, "We need y'all to be more positive. We're spreading positivity this season." And for a stretch after that, it felt like the opposite happened. So when a report finally comes out that's just straight facts, no hidden agenda, it hits different. It's the kind of coverage he's been asking for since day one, and it took months to get an example of it.
The Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders was in Miami, Florida, working out with some other members of the Cleveland Browns. One day later, though, he's back here in Northeast Ohio, holding a youth football camp for more than 500 kids here at Brooklyn Memorial Stadium.
Just the first one, so this is an amazing start. It's an amazing start. Everybody's healthy, the gear that they have on look good, and everybody's out here smiling, so that's what it's about.
Sanders' camp, held in collaboration with Browns Give Back, brought out hundreds of kids to participate in skills and drills on the field.
I'm truly excited that they feel excited to see me and stuff.
I touched his shoulder.
I would say most of the time, usually as like athletes and everything, like we're isolated more, so it's about giving in the community and just seeing everybody and seeing the inspiration that we give.
Sanders coming straight from the airport to spend time with the youth.
My favorite part of today was meeting Shedeur Sanders, that he's just trying to give back to the community and help the organization out.
One part of the camp even featuring a Simon Says that resulted in a lucky winner receiving a diamond chain.
We got a diamond chain prize right here. We giving this away.
It's crazy. I didn't think I was gonna make it.
The chain, that was just a little, that was just a little thing that I just thought was cool. So then I was like, okay, let's do it. Because I always want to be able to have these different memories, and I like competition. Overall, I love the competition factor.
For Sanders, having fun in the offseason is important, but even more important is giving back to the community.
It's an amazing day. Look at the sky. You hear the music. Look at the merch everybody has on. The kids, the parents, the extra festivities we have in the back. That's what makes me the most happy overall.
Money on me, money on three. 1, 2, 3.
Stop right there, because this is where the story usually turns negative. Not this time. The hosts on this show didn't just note the good report, they broke down exactly why it stood out so much. One of them said when the report started, the first thing that crossed his mind was who's telling the story and who's describing it. And what he saw was a reporter just putting out the facts and letting the video speak for itself. She wasn't spinning a narrative. She wasn't trying to make it about anything other than what actually happened. He called it refreshing and said that's supposed to be the standard, not the exception. That's the part that connects straight back to Rex Ryan. because the same host pointed out that the lines have blurred to where you can go from a report like that, free facts, no angle, to what Rex Ryan did on national television. Rex made Shedur's post-game interview about himself after a game last year. He turned a young quarterback's moment into a bit for his own commentary. And here's the part that stings. Nobody in the media, not one person, went and asked the Browns coaching staff to defend Shedeur after that happened. It just got left alone, like it was fair game. Compare that to how a guy like Tony Romo gets treated when he's in the news for something serious. There's no national pile-on, no week of discourse. But a young quarterback who's done nothing but ask for fairness gets mocked on TV, and the story just moves on like it's normal. That's the double standard this camp day is exposing all over again. Shedeur asked for positivity in his first presser of the offseason. What he actually got, at least for a stretch, was Rex Ryan using him as a punchline in silence from everyone else in the room.
When it came on, the first thing that crossed my mind is one, who is telling the story and who's describing it. But then also, like you said, she is just straight down the middle, just putting out the facts and just, and just allowing the video and the highlights take care of itself. She ain't trying to spin no narrative. She's just putting out, look, he came directly from the airport, in collaboration with the Browns and this campus stuff and the fire. So it's like everything is telling itself, and you don't have to worry about any type of particular slant or point of view that's being discussed out there. I mean, like you said, that's the only type of journalism that I know. So it's shout out to her. I don't know what, like I said, a lot of the other local TV media do out there, but she didn't try to come with any type of narrative or whatever. She just straight down the middle, and that's all you can ask for.
So if the coverage can be this fair, why did it take this long to get here? This is where the deeper case against the whole Rex Ryan situation gets made. And it's not just an opinion, it's laid out point by point. The argument is simple. Shedeur hasn't done anything to warrant the level of anger or slack he's caught. He was minding his own business last year when Rex Ryan turned his post-game interview into a whole segment about himself. And when that happened, nobody in the coaching staff got asked to step up and defend their guy. No pushback, no clarification, just silence, while a national figure kept talking. The hosts connected that directly to a pattern they've watched before, with Deshaun Watson, Odell Beckham Jr., and Kareem Hunt. Same type of player, similar kind of coverage. And the honest explanation on the table is that negativity travels further than good news, and it travels even further depending on who the target is. They didn't dance around it either. The point made was that if you swapped the entire conversation from Brown's training camp to a negative slant on Shedeur and Deshaun, the show would probably triple its numbers overnight. That's the incentive structure working against a guy who's just shown up, worked out, and thrown a youth camp for 500 kids. And it's not like Shedeur has given anyone a reason to pile on. He talked in a recent interview about feeling isolated at times, about being out there on an island by himself, while everyone else in the building goes about business as usual. That's not a guy causing problems. That's a guy who asked for a fair shot and mostly got left to deal with the noise on his own. So when Rex Ryan's old line gets brought back up next to a camp day like this one, straight facts, hundreds of kids, a diamond chain giveaway, it just doesn't hold up anymore. It looks like it aged the way bad takes usually do.
Deshaun Watson. Now, granted, sometimes the players don't put themselves in a good situation.
Yeah, say that.
So that has a lot to do with. But again, Shedeur hasn't done anything. I mean, he hasn't done anything to warrant the anger or the slant, the slight that he's getting from Rex Ryan. Because again, he was minding his own business last year when Rex Ryan talked about, his post-game interview against the Raiders and made it all about him.
Now put that next to how the same kind of mistake gets handled for someone else. This is where the double standard gets impossible to ignore, because the show pulled up the exact comparison. C.J. Stroud had a 4-turnover playoff game, a real bad one. And the criticism was rough, but it stayed mostly about football. Then they flipped it. If Shedeur Sanders has a regular season game with mistakes in it, the question isn't about the film, it's immediately how fast can the team turn to the backup. That's not a football conversation anymore. That's a different standard being applied before he's even had the chance to build a body of work. Then there's the Josh Allen angle, and this is the one that really drives it home. The breakdown was blunt. Josh Allen got his own coach fired, had a golden path to the Super Bowl with basically no elite competition standing in his way, and still couldn't get it done. Shedeur, in the same stretch of football being talked about, actually outplayed him in a head-to-head moment and still didn't get the credit, while Josh Allen kept getting handed grace no matter what happened on the field. The hosts said it themselves. They spend more time debating hypothetical Josh Allen scenarios than actually talking about their own team's quarterback. That's how far the benefit of the doubt swings one way, while a guy who ran a spotless camp day gets measured against a totally different bar. So line it all up. A fair, neutral news report finally airs, a camp for 500 kids goes off without a hitch, a random kid walks away with a diamond chain and a memory for life, and still, the old Rex Ryan dig gets treated like it was some kind of fair read on the guy. It wasn't then, and it looks even worse now that the tape of how Shedeur actually carries himself is sitting right there for anyone to watch.
And still let you win that ball game, because I remember the whole talk of Shedeur running backwards, and Josh Allen was the one that was running backwards that almost got a safety tackle. But but somehow the Cleveland media felt like if Josh Allen was the starting quarterback, UCSS, said they would win 9 or 10 games. But I'm just
12 games
I'm just
immediately.
saying,
Josh Allen and a happy meal can get the Browns 13 wins. Josh Allen.
Yeah, Thomas. Yeah.
13 win. I don't get it.
Rex Ryan's line wasn't a hot take. It was a preview of a double standard that's still playing out right now. Let's recap where this actually leaves things. Shedeur went from a workout in Miami straight into a camp for over 500 kids. No rest day, no complaints. That camp got covered the exact way he asked for back at his first press conference. Straight facts, no agenda. And it got noticed specifically because it was so rare. Underneath all of that sits the Rex Ryan situation, a national figure making a young quarterback the punchline of his own segment, with zero pushback from anyone in the media at the time. And when you set that next to how a mistake from Shedeur gets treated compared to a mistake from Josh Allen or CJ Stroud, the gap in how these guys get covered is not subtle anymore. It's sitting right there on tape. So here's the real question. After a camp day this clean, in a report this fair, does Rex Ryan owe Shadur Sanders an actual acknowledgement that he had it wrong, or does the media just keep moving the goalposts every time he does something right? Drop your answer below, smash like, and subscribe.